Good morning and welcome to Rancid's channel. This is going to be episode 3. Sorry about this scruffy appearance and everything, I'm unshaven, unkempt, but this is my day job, train driver, and this account actually took place on the railway. So we're going back to about 2003-2004, so when we still had the old slam door trains, and we was on this service that we're on now, which is the Southampton to Portsmouth Southsea stopping service. So the trains we had back then were what I call slam door trains, which had door handles and door hinges. The doorways were very thin. If you was a disabled passenger or someone with like a buggy for a child or something like that, you had to go in a brake van, which was not very pleasant because it was basically a prison cell, basically loads of wire mesh and cages and stuff. Which obviously wasn't very pleasing if you was a passenger. We actually used to give them a refund for that part of the journey because it was that bad really that someone had to be put in there. Now we've got these trains like we have now, which have power doors, much more wider doors, disabled access. So this is why this story is quite interesting. So we stopped at a station called Woolston. It's a curvy platform. In a minute we're going to stop there and you can see from my perspective what we saw. I was at the front of the train because this line's quite quick. A lot of people try to dodge fares. It's a bit of an urban sport, jumping up and down trying to get everyone's tickets. They usually see you and go to the opposite end, so you used to get a lot of exercise. And we'd stopped at Woolston. I was near the driver's cab, which is where I am now, just behind him. That's all the funny noises you can hear behind me. And yeah, so I stopped, got off the platform, and at the back of the train was a couple in very unusual dress. I would say sort of Edwardian, maybe Victorian, with an old-fashioned silver cross wheelchair, one of the sort of proper four-wheel bouncy sprung jobs. Now, when I saw them there, I did think at the time, where are they going with that? They're going to have to come to the brake van, and that will not fit through the doors. And in consternation, I looked at the driver and we saw them get on in the very last door of the train, which was a standard compartment, which should also make it extremely difficult to get a pram or pushchair in there, because you've also got a corridor with a slidey door, which you wouldn't be able to turn in that space. So I was interested how they got on the train in the first place. So down I went to the train, down to the bottom compartment, nobody there, which was unusual. I even checked the driver's vestibule, because back on those trains the driver's cab had its own private vestibule, just in case it was unlocked and they'd managed to go in there somehow. Nope, they weren't there. I even checked the toilet on the way back just to make sure. It was quite a quiet sort of afternoon service. It was probably about 7 o'clock in the evening, I would have thought. Sort of dusky, nice sunlight, sunset coming down. It was in the summer, and yeah, no sign of them. Next station is Sholing. I got back to this end of the train. I'd gone through the whole train by that time, and there was only a couple of passengers on, if that. It was sort of really sort of unusually quiet for that sort of time of evening, but yeah, it was very quiet. So we're just coming into Woolston Station now, so I'm just going to give you a point of view aspect from what I saw as we came in. We're just rounding the curve now. It's a very sharp bend. The platform's curved, so it's quite good visibility even though it's on a curve. So if you look down there, where the guard is now is about roughly where I was. And he's probably thinking, what I just pointed at just now. He's probably thinking, what's the Rancid up to now? So where the guard was stood was where the people got on with the train. So as you can see, it was quite good visibility, and they got on there. So off we trundled to the next stop. I went right the way through the train. They weren't on there. Absolutely not. There's nowhere they could have gone. Not with that wheel. Not with that four-wheel pram. There's no way that could have gone anywhere. So that was really intriguing, because when we pulled up at Netley, which was the second station after Woolston, got Sholing in between, they got off. And I actually turned around to the driver, because I was back at the driver's cab again, and said, "Did you just see them?" Because I know that I'd seen them get on and they were not on the train. And he actually confirmed. He said, yeah, I can see them. Why? I said, because they weren't on the train. And he said, what do you mean? I said, that pram, there's no way that got on the train, and I've just been down there, they were not on there. And also with their odd dress as well. So it turned out that there's rumours that a couple died with their pram on a railway crossing or something like that.
The next station is Sholing.
However,
please mind the gap.
It wasn't the only sighting. A friend of mine, another colleague who was a guard, same as me, Jamie Sutherland, he's now a driver like I am, and he saw exactly the same thing as I did. However, he reported it, which didn't go down too well. He was called off for a medscreened because they thought he was seeing things. Because in the real railway, if you see ghosts, that's they don't believe in that sort of thing. So yeah, poor old Jamie had a medscreen and an interview after that, but he saw the same thing that I saw. We discussed the matter, and it was exactly the same sort of time, same stations. Just as a sort of background to it, so Woolston's quite a sort of built-up shipyard building sort of area. It's on the banks of the River Itchen in Southampton, quite an industrial area, not particularly rich area, I would say. Population-wise, yes, you probably would have had lots of local factory or shipbuilding workers, I guess. Whereas Netley's a bit different. Netley has a military hospital, or it had a military hospital. It was rail served, so everything was built around the hospital. It had quite large grounds. I guess there would have been other inhabitants in the area as well, obviously. So yeah, interesting. I mean, Netley's got a bit of history to it, and Woolston's quite an interesting place, I suppose, as well. So we're just coming into Netley now, so I shall give you a view of what I saw at Netley. Give the guy a little wave again, he'll be wondering what's going on. There he was stood right down the back where he is there. So after that short video, I guess the guards will be coming up and think, what's going on now, Rancid? What are you up to? So yeah, I hope you enjoy this short one. A bit of a POV perspective of what I'd seen on this particular visionary apparition. These were proper apparitions, as it were, as they weren't on a train. Yeah, they got on and they got off. Thanks for watching Rance's channel, episode 2.